So today I'm going to be doing the rounds with the Cobra, Carl Froch. How are you doing, Carl?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, actually. Yeah,
You look a bit you look a bit secluded there. Are you self-isolating?
funny that. Yeah, I think we all are at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? 6 3-minute rounds.
Yes, as ready as I'll ever be. I've had a little brief look at the questions, a real quick scan.
Well, you
Bit of
haven't got
fun.
a ball. Right, we're going to get going. So the first one, doing the rounds in part one,
Mm-hmm.
live before boxing. 3, 2, 1, let's go. What's your earliest boxing memory?
Walking into the boxing gym. It's not a fight. It's just walking into the Phoenix Amateur Boxing Club on Burton Road in Nottingham at 8 years old with my older brother Lee. And I can remember seeing two lads on the bag. I know it's Dominic Travis, who ended up training me for a bit, and Chris Fletcher. And they looked amazing on the bag. I was so impressed. I thought, wow, I wonder if I'll ever be that good. But that's my earliest memory. And it smells as I can remember smelling the sweat in the gym. Place stinks.
And that grabbed you. What did you watch on TV when you were a kid?
I think round about when I was a kid, it was, 70s. So Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Earns, them sort of fighters. Because my old man used to be into boxing, my dad. And they was kind of played on loop, they was. You know, the big fights of the 80s, 70s and 80s.
What about things like Dennis the Menace? Was that not on your screens?
Yeah, we watched a bit of cartoons and that. I watched all that. Danger Mouse and Dungeons and Dragons, remember that?
Yeah, I love
But
that.
no, if we're talking boxing, then it was them kind of fights from that era.
All right, what was on the table? What was in the Froch household?
How do you mean on the table?
Meal. What meal? What cooking?
Oh, food. It was all basic. We were skint. We had no money growing up. Beans on toast. Bag of chips was such a treat. Just a bag of chips in the middle of the table would all get stuck in. Salt was like, oh, eat your fingers with the salt. No, we was. I wouldn't say we was poor, but we certainly wasn't very well off. So, yeah, we had basic food. We always had a Sunday dinner with meat, potatoes, and veg. My mum always did that every Sunday. But my parents split up when I was quite young. I was only 6 years old and my mum and dad separated. So I lived with my dad for quite a few years, and he wasn't a very good cook. So I was probably malnourished for most of my childhood.
You're made up for it now. Definitely. I feed you sweets all the time. What do you think you would have been if you had been a boxer?
What would I have been if I went to boxing? Well, I tried to get into the police force, and I was also on the list to pretty much join the army. I've always liked the discipline and the regimental kind of thing. I think that's why I stayed with boxing, because when I got to boxing, it was like you've got to listen to your coach, and you're part of a team. Even though you're on your own when you fight, it's an individual sport. You still got your gym mates and that. So yeah, I think I'd have done something in one of the services: fireman, policeman, maybe join the army. Probably the army. Probably would have gone in the army.
We've got 30 seconds. Who was your childhood crush?
Linda Lusardi.
Really?
I must have been about 12 when she was probably, because she's 60 now, 60 something. She was probably in the 30s when I was 12, and I can remember thinking, wow. But my old man used to get the Post, was it the Sun newspaper, and she's obviously paid free girl. I can remember like looking at her thinking, oh yes. I was around about that age, like 12, 13. But no, Linda Lusardi, definitely.
Right, just in time there. Right, let's move on. Career in boxing. Let's get going with that one. 3, 2, 1. What's your career highlight, Carl?
Career highlight, I mean, I've had so many big fights, top wins, comeback wins, rematches. I had 2 rematches, obviously, Grosz and Kessler. But I think the career highlight for me would be winning my first world title against Jean Pascal, because I wasn't 100% confident in myself or my abilities. I was never going to turn pro. Robert McCracken taught me into turning professional. So winning the green and gold belt, the WBC title for me, that's one of my career highlights. I don't know if it's my best, but I don't know my best.
So that's the career highlight. What about career lows?
Career low was when I ruptured my cruciate ligament, my ACL, anterior cruciate ligament, because look, after speaking to the physio and having a scan and speaking to the surgeon that was going to do the op, I just thought this is going to take ages. And I had the operation and got myself rehabilitated and got back in the ring within sort of 6 and 7 months. But when I'd done my knee and I couldn't even walk and I was limping around thinking, what have I done? And I had the scan. That was horrible. My mum got me through that. Good old mum. We had a little cry together. So that's got to be my career low. An injury like that, I thought it was the end of me.
What was the best bit of advice in your career you were given?
Probably after Rob McCracken, turn professional. I wasn't going to turn professional. And he said, I think you should turn pro. And I'm like, no, I don't fancy that. Don't
But
want to turn
why?
pro.
Why didn't you think that? Why didn't
Because
you
I
want
was
to?
watching people like Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn knock 7 bells out of each other. And I thought, look at the size of them. Look how hard they're punching. I was like a skinny little kid with no confidence. I won the ABAs and I won a medal in the World Championships, and I met Rob McCracken. And I was quite happy to just tick along, stay amateur, have a bit of fun. So I was enjoying amateur boxing, and then just leave it at that. I had no intention at all or aspirations of turning professional through my whole amateur career until I met Rob McCracken. So his advice to tell me to turn pro was probably the best advice I've ever taken.
I can't imagine you as a kid with no confidence. Just
Yeah,
can't.
I'm a very nervous boxer. I've always been nervous.
Who was your biggest fan throughout your career?
Biggest boxing fan?
No, your biggest fan. Who was your biggest fan?
My biggest fan?
Your biggest
All
support?
right, okay. All right, okay. Probably my older brother Lee and my mum. My older brother Lee, though, he was a bad drunk. I mean, he's 6 years sober now. Actually, he's officially in sobriety, so he's doing really, really well. But I can just remember hearing him every fight. Come on, bro, that's it, beautiful, bro. Go on, bro. And he'd give me a bit of confidence actually, because when I'm landing good shots, I'd hear his voice and think, oh, I must be doing well, because I can't hear him shouting if I'm not doing well. If I'm getting caught, he'd be like, come on, get your guard up, or come on, switch on. So I did before the fight, on the run up to the fight, after the fight. He was like my cheerleader. He'd sell all tickets early on. When you have to sell tickets, he'd sell them all and round up everybody. So yeah, he's the one, Lee Froch, the renovator.
Just finished that one. Right, okay, let's move on to round 3, which is life after boxing.
Do you want me to shorten these answers so we get through them more?
Pundit or boxing comeback?
Pundit.
Why?
Because getting old. Don't want to get up in the morning and go on a run.
Because you've been talking about Calzaghe.
I'd come out of retirement for Calzaghe.
Who would win out of you and Calzaghe back in the day?
It'd be a good fight, close fight. I'd back myself to knock him out, but I would not be surprised if I got beat on points. This is a guy who's really tough, really fit. He's got a fast hands, high work rate. So the odds are for him to beat me on points. But I think I chin him because Robin Reed beat him, didn't get the decision, and he never rematched Reed. And he pulled out the fight with Glenn Johnson and I beat as well. So I fancy myself to beat Calzaghe by knockout. What
do you think your biggest career regret is? Who do you regret not getting to fight?
Probably Chavez Jr. at the very end of my career, just because of all my fans and my sober brother wanted to go to one fight sober, and that'd have been Vegas. And I never boxed in Vegas. I've been there a few times and watched fights, but I got to box in Atlantic City, which is like Blackpool on bloody steroids. It's like the poor man's Vegas. So I went there twice, fought Glenn Johnson and Andre Ward. So I suppose if I've got any regrets, which to be honest, I've got nothing to complain about. My career was amazing, if I do say so myself. But fighting Chavez Jr. in Las Vegas as a little swan song was probably one that got away, but I didn't want it. I had no desire. I could not be bothered to fight anymore.
Are you busy in retirement or bored?
I'm neither busy or bored. I'm not bored. I've got 3 kids. I love life. I really enjoy my kids. I have breakfast with them every day. I take them to school. We're not at school at the minute, but I pick them up from school every day, sit and have a dinner with them in the dining room, talk to them, listen to them, play with them, play golf with Rocco and take him boxing. I take my girls to ballet and swim. Yeah, he's better than me, but that's not hard, to be honest. So I'm quite busy, but I'm good at delegating, so I don't do much work. My older brother's like my right-hand man. He works for me full time, and I've got a lot on, but I'm always playing golf, tennis, or cycling and chilling out with my kids.
What's the one thing, though, that you miss about fighting?
Probably fight night, and then after, all the back slaps and all the accolades and, you know, the natural feeling, the natural euphoria of the highs, the natural highs of winning, and the relief of the fight being over as well. I used to love that. I used to love waking up in the morning after a fight and thinking, oh, but like, you don't know for a split second if you're boxing still. When's my, like, because every morning you wake up, 10 days, 9 days, 8 days. Then when you've boxed, it's like you wake up at 6 in the morning, open one eye, look at your clock and you think, oh, I boxed, yes, it's done, it's over. And you can sort of relax for like 4 weeks. And I miss that feeling, but that's it. That's the, go on, I'll let you finish.
No, we've got 5 seconds. I want to ask you just one question, and you'll probably hate me for asking this. Can you name one thing that George Groves is better at than you?
What's he better than me at? Like, he wouldn't beat me at golf, would he? It wouldn't. It's going to take a while. This is. He won't beat me at poker.
I've got
You reckon he can play? No, I don't know. He's probably. Is he quicker than me? He's got faster hands than me, I think. He don't punch harder than me. He ain't got a better chin. He's not better looking. He's probably got faster hands, so he's probably better at me at doing a reflex test because his hands are quick.
Says
Other than
Carl
that, I
Froch.
can't give
Right,
him
we'll
much.
move swiftly on to round 4. Right, your personal life. Here we go. What is what's the thing you're most proud of, the most proud achievement in your personal life?
Proudest achievement in my personal life? Well, getting my handicap at golf down to 22 is not a big achievement. Beating my brother at tennis, but I think maybe, but it's a natural thing. So having kids, I think I'm so proud of my kids. I think that's got to be. If I was going to shout from the rooftops about anything, it would have been my boxing career, or it wouldn't be my golf handicap, or my fast cars. It'd be my kids.
What really annoys you? What's your pet peeve?
You know what? Rachel, and she did it today, my wife, she follows me around tidying up after me, right? But if I've got the almond milk out of the fridge. No, but listen, if I've got the almond milk out of the fridge ready to put on my cereal, and I've got my cereal in the bowl, and I look around and the almond milk's back in the fridge, she basically tidies up behind you before you've even finished. It really winds me up. I actually have quite a go at her about that. She knows now to leave me alone. Just stay out of the kitchen when I'm doing something. Because I cook a lot of the food. I enjoy cooking. And just leave me to it. When I've finished, I'll tidy up. I want to eat my dinner when it's hot as well. I'll tidy up when I've enjoyed my dinner. Don't wash the pots before I go on.
Ran over. What's the weirdest thing or something that we don't know about you?
This is a family show, isn't it?
Carl.
I quite like, what did I used to like watching on the television? Desperate Housewives. I used to like watching that. So people probably won't know about that. And I like a bit of a chick flick. So, Love Actually.
Chick flick?
Pardon?
Favourite chick flick?
I don't know if it is a chick flick, Shallow Hal. That's a comedy, isn't it? That's quite funny. Something about Mary, I enjoyed that. Yeah, probably Shallow Hal, but that's a comedy. And Wedding Crashers. Wedding Crashers, that's another comedy, but it's quite romantic as well. It's got a romantic element.
Great choice. What kind of dad are you?
Well, I'm the best dad in the world. I get told that every day. Off my 3. So Rocco's 9. He's grown up a bit now. Natalia's 6, my first girl, and my second girl, Penelope, she's 4. And all 3 of them tell me and write to me all the time and leave me notes and tell me that I'm the best dad in the world. So I spend time with them. I'm not really strict.
What about superstitions?
No, I've never been superstitious. I used to have a gum shield that I wore in the amateur boxing when I was an amateur, and had a little logo on it, like a little king logo. I can remember losing the gum shield in the World Championships before the semi-final, so I had to wear my spare gum shield. And in my head, that's why I lost. Well, it didn't make any difference, did it? But I didn't have the gum shield. I was like, oh, that's my gum shield. That's my winning gum shield. And when I lost that gum shield, that was it. I lost the gum shield after the Grosz fight as well. I think someone got hold of that. I'm thinking it. Mark Seltzer's job that was. So no, I'm not superstitious. I don't have any superstitions. I used to salute magpies and stuff like that, stupid stuff. But when I was running and I'd see a magpie, I'd think, oh, I don't want any bad luck. But I'm not superstitious.
We're out of time. Moving on to round 5. This is the fantasy round. I'm looking forward to this one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Who would be your fantasy fight?
Probably somebody like Marvin Hagler. Marvellous Marvin Hagler. Big puncher. Stand in front of you and have a proper fight with you. No holding and hitting and running off. He comes forward, he gets his bold Swede in your face and hooks away. And I reckon he'd give me a right pasting. I'd probably enjoy it because it's Marvin Hagler. So that'd be a good fantasy fight for me. I reckon I'd be in the fight, don't get me wrong.
Brilliant.
But it'd be a brutal beating probably on my part.
What would be your dream job, or what was your dream job, do you think, when you were younger?
Dream job. So, never really thought about a dream job, to be honest. It'd be something where you get
Sky Sports with us.
You get paid. So following on from boxing, then yeah, I suppose being a pundit in the game, because I think being a pundit for Sky Sports has kept me out of the ring, because I'm sitting ringside watching these fights and thinking, oh, that looks painful. Did I really used to do that? But if I didn't box, I was always quite sporty. And as I've talked about, I like the discipline and the regimental thing. So my dream job would have been doing something that I enjoy, as everybody should like to enjoy the job. And I think if I was in the army or the Navy or the RAF or something like that, one of the forces, that'd be for me a dream job. And for a lot of people, that'd be their worst nightmare. I think
Why
I'd
haven't we
enjoy it.
seen you on SAS Who Dares Wins? Your mates at that, Middleton?
Yes, don't fancy it. I don't like the interrogation. I'm going to watch Tony Bellew on that soon. You know the last bit where you put the headphones on and you've got barking dogs and screaming babies and it's like stress position. I don't think I'd be able to get through it because I'd be like, why am I doing this? I'd be like, yeah, I'm out. I've got this far. That'll do me. And so I'd let myself down in the end because I'd definitely just say, don't fancy this bit. Leave it alone.
If
I spoke to
you
Ant Middleton and he said to me, he said, I'd put some Motown and soul on and drop the volume because I'm your mate. And I was like, no, you wouldn't.
no,
You'd
that's
stitch me
not the
up
point.
terrible.
If you could have a superpower for 24 hours, what would your superpower be?
I thought about this one. So it's either flying or invisible. And
Which one?
if I say invisible, people might get the wrong idea. People might get the wrong idea. But I'd like to listen to certain people when they're talking about me and what they've got to say. So I think flying because I'm quite frightened. I'm not frightened, but I don't think anybody likes heights. But I've done a parachute jump at 15,000 feet, and you're just cutting through the air at a stupid mile an hour. I'd like to be able to actually slow it down and fly around a little bit. I want to go up in one of them gliders. Me and my brother are looking into it now. They're the ones you hold on to, and you just glide in. And you can get ones where you sit down, you've got a motor on the back. Yeah, I really fancy that. So a superpower would be flying, I think.
Very quickly, you've got 5 seconds. Dream holiday destination.
Disneyland, I think. I can't wait to go there with the kiddies. Well, I'm waiting for Penelope to be old enough to go on some of the rides because she's such hard work, such a little toe rag. If she can't go on some of the rides that her big brother and sister can go on, it's going to ruin the holiday. So I'm dying to go. So I've been to Paris a couple of times and been there, Disneyland Paris, but Florida with the big rides, I think I'd be enjoying it more than the kids, to be honest.
Do you know what? Gutted that we ran out of time in that one because I was going to ask you, is the Earth round or flat?
That'd have got the most hits and it would have made front page news.
And we would in 3 minutes, would we?
And it's an obvious answer.
Right, we're moving on. Final round. Boxed in essentials, right? So this is all about self-isolation now, okay? If you could eat one dish in self-isolation on repeat, what one would it be?
You know what? I'm not a big foodie. I do enjoy cooking food, and I like to see the blue raw prawns change into nice cooked prawns, and put a bit of flour on them, garlic and chili, and crisp them up a bit. And I enjoy eating them, but I'm not a big foodie, so I don't know, Indian takeaway. Just get me some Indian takeaway. I'll eat that. A bit of Chinese takeaway, mixed hors d'oeuvres. Nothing jumps out at me. Bowl of porridge, I'm happy with that, with a bit of syrup and a bit
on repeat.
porridge and banana. Yeah, keep my weight up.
All right, okay.
Honestly, I'm not a big foodie. Food does not excite me. I like eating food, but I'm not like, oh wow, I need to eat. I'm starving. I've got to eat that. It's so nice. Get over it.
If you could have one song on repeat, what would it be?
Can't be something that's, it's going to annoy you, isn't it? If you got something on repeat too long. So it'd be a Motown and soul song. It'd be something more chilled and relaxed. Probably an Al Green song.
What about your first dance with Rachel, your wedding?
No, that remind me of the bloody wedding. Think about that every day for. Nothing against getting married or anything, but you don't want to be reminded of that.
Oh dear. What one item to have in isolation, what would it be?
One item?
One item.
Oh. I don't know why I'm laughing. One item. One item. What like TV? An item? Something you're going to use?
Yes.
I don't know. Radio. Listen to the radio. Turn that on.
A radio. Radio over TV.
Feels you less secluded. I don't watch TV really. I watch a few shows and a few box sets now and again. I don't watch
okay.
TV.
One fight. If you had to watch one fight on repeat, what would it be?
I thought about this one earlier. It's a heavyweight fight. I was thinking Mike Tyson, but it's going to be Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield, their first fight. That was round 10. I watched just round 10 on repeat. The whole fight was great, amazing fight. Holyfield lost that one on points, and they fought a couple of times as well, 2 or 3 times. But yeah, what a fight that was. On
We've
a
got
field
about
bow.
5 seconds. If you could self-isolate with one person, who would it be? And it can't be yourself.
One person full stop or a boxer?
Anyone. Let's go with boxer.
Boxer. I'd probably be able to talk for hours, especially now, to him because he's really deep and he's always stoned. Mike Tyson. I think he's fascinating. I listened to one of his podcasts. He's always a guest on somebody's podcast, and he's just wow. And I could ask him so many questions, and he's really deep now on the weed. He's a flat earther as well, by the way.
Oh, that's it, Carl. You've done the rounds with me. You know what? Do you know what? We went this whole, what was it, roughly 20 minutes?
We never mentioned.
You never mentioned. What did you mention?
Well, the thing is, right, it's pointless because that's not the career highlight. That was just
80,000.
That was the icing on the cake.
I mentioned it.
That was the icing on the cake.
Thanks for doing the rounds with us.
No, pleasure. Enjoyed it.
And if any of you want to get involved, let us know who you want to talk to at Sky Sports Boxing. Get in touch. See you soon.